YouTube, welcome to another video. Today we're going to do a walkthrough video on my 91 Galant VR4. I did a video introducing it. That video covered the history of the Galant, my history, the ownership of the vehicle, and its build progress up until now. It's going to be part of the series as I get this vehicle back running and driving. If you look at it, you can see the dust that's built on it. That's how much and how long I haven't done much on the vehicle. Like I said, everything on that previous introduction video will cover why I haven't done anything to it, but that's all going to change. I'm going to start getting this thing ready and driving. So I'm going to cover I'm going to try to cover everything as much as I can, but just give you an idea of where it's at now. So as I put out these videos showing the progress of the build, you can actually see the vehicle going through its progress. Okay, where we're going to start is the exterior, and we're going to start at the front of the Galant. And on its face here, I upgraded these headlights to what the Galant community calls them the 93 crystals, 93 headlights. These crystal lens lights were only available on the USDM 1993 Mitsubishi Galants. That was the last year before they did the 7th gen. So these were only available 1 year, and they're highly sought after all over the world, especially in Asia, because they were not available in Asia. I think the last year Mitsubishi sold these in the United States, the 6th gen. Not many 93 Galants were sold. So these makes these crystal headlights more rare. So I was able to find a pretty mint pair of these. The most common things of these headlights is the chrome hair starts kind of chipping and you have these black spots. Those are AMG corners. The factory ones have like a split clear amber. I think the JDM ones are, I think, all clear, and the AMGs are all amber. I was actually able to get these years ago from some guy in I think Indonesia. These are brand new when I got them. Don't remember how much I spent, but compared to the prices of today, probably a lot cheaper. So the bumper is a JDM Galant VR4 RS front bumper. The difference between the regular Galant JDM Galant bumpers and the RS, the only tell the difference is the RS has this extra opening here for the front mount intercooler. The regular JDMs don't. They kind of have this, the opening goes from here and smooths out as like a solid one piece. So the JDM RS ones have that extra vent right under the actual opening for the front mount intercooler. I have these are JDM, these are fog lights. I have them wired up to where one is my driving light. I believe the projectors are. These are the fogs. There's another version where it's all reflector. These are the dual ones. Front lip is a Boost X replica front lip. These were made about 15-20 years ago. They were a limited run by a guy named John. I knew him locally. I lost contact with him, but he was reproducing these. These are repros from a Japanese version. But yeah, that's on. These will fit the JDM bumpers. So now on to the wheels. These are BBS RXs. These are authentic BBS wheels. The specs on these are 17/9 plus 28 offset. Current tires on there are Dunlop Durizas, kind of a little bit stretched. I will be replacing these tires for a little bit wider tire, but there are 205/50/17 Dunlops. Now to the rear. This is a JDM rear bumper. Main difference between this and the USDM ones is the side profile is a lot shorter. I believe the USDM ones come a little further out because to meet US crash standards. And they have this integrated, I guess, lip, whereas the DM ones kind of like, after this curve right here, they kind of just go straight. The JDMs look absolutely a lot better. Other than that, it has an AMG Galant 3-piece wing. I was able to score this years ago, probably like 2005. I actually bartered this AMG wing with a guy in Indonesia. Basically, I was able to get him 93 headlights, like I just showed you, and a couple USDM Galant parts for this AMG wing. Other than the shipping, that's the only thing I had to spend. I didn't like the amber on the taillights, so all this is just 3M smoke vinyl, and I just covered the clear part in the amber to give it more of just a cleaner look, just the red and the smoke. Yeah, another mod I have installed are these. These are JDM, I guess, quarter panel glass. That's the USDM one. It's the JDM one. JDM has Galant on there, so I'll have to install that. So this is a JDM Galant Eterna. I believe these were only available in certain markets. So this grill, I'll show you little pictures, pop-ups here of the USDM grill, the factory Galant VR4 grill, and the Eterna grill. I am digging the Eterna grill, so I'm upgrading to this. I just have to get repainted and find the Diamond Star logo specifically for this grill. But yeah, that will be added on to my VR4. Now we're going to go into the interior. And as you can see, it is still torn apart. I haven't really put it back together. But I'm just going to show you where it's at, what I have done. So this is a central gauge pod from the Galant GSX. The Galant GSX, cool fact, even though I think it was like 89, 1990, the Galant GSX had adjustable suspension. So the adjustable suspension display here is what the central pod's for. The Galant VR4s never had that. So that's what that is. That's basically the electronic controlled suspension pod for it. But this is a cool little thing because I mounted my Super AFC there, kind of hide it. I'm probably going to end up getting rid of the Super AFC, and somehow I'm going to put an EGT gauge, probably an innovative, and get rid of the AEM Yugo I have. Yeah, right there. So I'm going to figure that out. Standard Galant VR4 factory gauge. It has a carbon fiber bezel. Cool thing about these is you can change the color. So I don't know if I have the secondary bulbs on here. Oh yeah, I have. It was either amber or green. So that's pretty cool. This is an OMP steering wheel. I upgraded this, I think, around just before my daughter was born. So that's an OMP steering wheel with a Momo hub. I've been in the game so long, I heard these are pretty useless. But you know, I had one back then. It shows the battery. It displays O2. It's like a narrow band I think the air fuel and narrowband, it's pretty generic. It's not accurate, but that was a feature it had. And then I had this carbon fiber dual speaker gauge. It was a member in the Galant VR4 board that made them years ago. I was able to snag one. It's still in really good condition. And I have a Pro Sport boost, and I forgot what gauge is this. I think this is oil pressure. Yeah, oil pressure. So we have a boost and oil pressure gauge. And then here, center console here, the radio will be here, and then I had a triple gauge pod right here, and then I had my wideband there. Let me see if I have it yet. They're still here. These are the gauges. They're like I had this triple gauge setup sitting right here, and it was over there. Had a JVC head unit. So I rebuilt the shifter years ago. So this is a stock 1G Galant VR4 shifter assembly with a 1G short shifter modified. So the bushings, I rebuilt these with solid brass bushings. They were actually by a good friend of mine. His name is Stacy. He had a Galant VR4, and instead of replacing it with the OEM like plastic bushings, we rebuilt it with the brass ones. They'll last a lot longer and it a lot tighter. So that's what I rebuilt the shifter with. This is an authentic Rally Art shift knob. It's a nice authentic Rally Art shift knob that's there. But this is it. There's nothing else. Sunroof. It was working when I last messed with it a few years ago. The back is full of the replacement extra door panels. Currently have the driver's side door panel because several years ago I had my VR4 outside and someone attempted to try to break into it, so they kind of damaged the door panel and my door doesn't fully close. I'll show you that in a little bit. So the story was I had my wife's Gen 3 Montero in the garage because I was doing some work on it, and I moved the Galant VR4 outside just temporarily overnight, and someone tried to break in the VR4 because they first tried to get in the sunroof, tried to pry that open with no success, and then they immediately tried to go through the door, and I don't know if you can tell right there, they tried to pry the door from here. There's some paint damage, and then consequently they're able to get, I guess, a crowbar. The door panel reached there and it damaged the door panel. I still have it. I can show you the damage, but my door doesn't close properly. It should close easily. I have to slam the door hard. It shouldn't take that much effort. I should be able to, but it doesn't close. So I'm gonna have my one at some point replace the door. But let's see. Yeah, this was the door panel right here. They tried to get in the glass. They tried to pry it open through there, and then when they were trying to get in between the door, they cracked the door panel here. So this was the original one. I was able to get extra door panels. I got them from Performance Part Out. So I have spares other than the driver's side. This is the new one up here. I'm gonna put that on. Before I put that on, I'm gonna replace the speakers because they're blown. So here's the other damage they did when they tried to break into the Galant. They also tried to get something through here. That's why the door panel I showed you was damaged on the top. They tried to pry it open through here. As you can see, the door is closed, but this frame up here is not fully flush. I can get my finger in there. Not supposed to. And you can tell right here it's not flush. So yeah, those criminals are scum. You guys suck, man, seriously. Passenger side door panel is perfect. Yeah, so that's the current condition. Oh, I have an OMP harness. I'm gonna end up probably getting rid of that, taking that off. This is gonna be a weekend car, so I won't need that anymore. So that was from my boy racer days. So we're gonna get into, I guess, suspension and engine modifications, and I guess some electronics. So we'll start here from the trunk. Here's the trunk. When I got the car, I never had the lining, and I've never been able to find a good set of factory ones to cover all that sheet metal. Hopefully one day I'll be able to find it, but as of right now, no. That's a Cusco rear strut bar. I guess this is like the generation 2 strut bar, because they used to be round. This has more of a flat, more modern looking style. So got that. If you watch the introduction video, my fuel tank, fuel pump issues, that's still apart. And the battery has been relocated to the rear. So this is a Noco battery. I have it on trickle charge. Over there. So that's that. So unfortunately, I don't have the Galant up on stands to fully show you the suspension, but it's still on the suspension I've had on it for years. I'm sure it's no longer good. It's blown out. Actually, I kind of knew it was on its last legs the last time I drove it. So it's on KYB AGXs, on Skunk 2 coilovers. I believe in the last video I said ground controls, but they're actually Skunk 2 coilovers. But yeah, I have the new suspension in the ready. I just have to install it, and like I said, I will do a video on that once I do it. Other than the suspension, it has a full energy suspension bushing kit installed. Here are the Ingalls adjustable rear arms. I haven't installed those yet. So I got those to install. It does also have a rear white line rear sway bar and end links. Hopefully in another video when I do the suspension, I'll get to show you those. But I got those. And then that is the front Cusco strut bar. That's currently off because I was doing work on the engine, which will be our next thing. So now we're gonna cover the engine. Here we go. So probably notice I didn't use my hood prop. I have hood struts on the Galant. I got these from B2 Auto Design. They were from Jacksonville. A guy named Charles was running. I'm not sure if it's still in business, but I believe you can get these hood struts now on eBay, or I think even maybe Amazon or AliExpress. But yeah, they're just hood struts for The Galant eliminates the hood prop, but I still have it there just in case. So here is the engine. So it's obviously a 4G63. Fuel delivery is, I had a Wally 255, Walboro 255, and it's going to Aeromotive FPR with steel braided line going into, that goes into an RCI fuel rail. I still have 660s there, but I have some FIC fuel injector clinic 1050s that will be going in here once I put the new engine management system in. That with a stock 1G manifold, I replaced that because I developed a crack around here. So that's a 1990 non-turbo throttle body. The non-turbo throttle bodies have the neck, where the turbo ones you kind of bolt in, and plus they are 60 millimeter. Yeah, it's a throttlebodies.com. Had it rebuilt. It's in it got ported out to 63 millimeters. I have 2.5-inch intercooler piping to a GM MAF and a MAF T. That's going to be switched out with a speed density setup, so that's going to be all eliminated soon. Tile blow-off valve to the my Spearco front mount. This thing is huge. Like I said, this was the original front mount from the race car when it was owned by the Miami race shop. So that's the Spearco, and that's the piping going to the turbo. That's an first generation FP red for the tile wastegate. I do have a pipe made for it. I just haven't installed it. FP cast manifold. That's a Hyundai dual overhead cam 4G64 cover. I have welded in fittings to an oil catch can. And then I have HKS cam gears. Running on a coil on plug setup. This is from the early days. It still works. I think these are Chrysler 300M coils. I did a lot of head work. It was done by Dover Cylinder Head here in Orlando. This was done years ago. Creating a valve job. Trying to think what else I had in there. SuperTech valves, valve guides, valve stem seals, intake and exhaust valves, and then it's running old school BC brine car springs and retainers, and top line lifters. What keeps the head on the block are air P head studs on a Mitsubishi multi-layer head gasket, and the bottom end is a stock Galant VR4 RS 4G63. My AC is eliminated. One of the things I wish I didn't do, but it's still eliminated, so I don't have the condenser. I switched to Honda radiator 3-core. That works. I had no issues with it. Transmission, I have a 3-speed, I don't know if you see it, 3-speed scatter shield, and my transmission is a fully built TRE transmission. This was built back in 2005. That was one of the first things big money items that were spent on this vehicle. A few things I didn't cover, I missed, is other than obviously the stuff I built the head, it has FFWD DKS 272 camshafts in there. Has a Victory Performance stainless steel O2 housing. And I have a manual boost controller, Vibrant MBC here. Vibrant manual boost controller. So the details on the transmission build, I told you it was built by TRE. Along with that, it was a transfer case was rebuilt by TRE, and it had a TRE tune-up, 4-bolt rear LSD tune-up on the rear diff. And I have a GNZ stainless steel clutch line right there, and it's running on a Fidanza 4.3 clutch kit with a Fidanza flywheel. And at the time when I installed the new clutch, it has a new OEM shift fork, pivot ball, and throwout bearing. Some other things that I didn't cover, I had these TN upper pillow bow mounts. I mean, these are old school. So this is a pillow bow mount. This is the AGX damper adjustment right there on top of the strut. And this is to adjust your camber. Obviously, I don't have the Cusco strut bar installed because I was working on the engine. So that'll go back in when it's ready. There's a fuel filter, which I'm going to have to replace. And then that's a Vibrant fittings to the RCI fuel rail. This is actually E85 friendly. So that's there. Did a little wire tuck on the fuel injectors harness. But yeah, that's basically it. Other than that, there's nothing else on Galant. I haven't done anything for years. So obviously the goal is to get it running, make sure I dial it in the way I want to. And then as soon as I get to that point, then I can start making it look pretty per se. There's things I want to do. The DSM community is reproducing parts, still making parts for the DSMs and Mitsubishis, especially the older ones. So I do want to get like the billet fuel cap covers and cam angle sensor cover, billet covers, all that pretty stuff to dress up the engine bay and make it look pretty. And obviously I want to do body work on it, get the car repainted factory color, and get it back to it. But for right now, the goal is just to get it mechanically running right, running correctly, get it dialed, and then start driving it. Then I can focus on those other things after that's done. So yeah, that's basically it. There's nothing much else to say at this point until I start actually putting work into the Galant. So before we end this video, my Galant VR4 does have a name. The name is Stitch. When I got this vehicle, when I brought it home, my wife was kind of like, "Oh, it looks kind of weird," because it is a boxy vehicle. She had said something that it looks weird, but it's somehow cute. So we were fans of Lilo and Stitch. And the car was loud. It had an exhaust, and it wasn't refined. Like I said, it was, if you watched the last video, it was still kind of in rough condition. It wasn't fully put together, I would say. So it was a little loud and it looked weird, but it was cute to her. So we naturally named it Stitch. So I think it fit the bill. And Stitch is one of my favorite, I think my only favorite Disney character. So yeah, that is the walkthrough video of my Galant VR4 as of March 2023. As we make more progress on it and any of our other builds, we will post videos so you guys can, I guess, tag along with the journey as we get these cars either running or make improvements for them so we can actually enjoy them, and so you can actually see the progress. So thank you for following, thank you for watching if you happen to make it this far, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did enjoy the video, feel free to comment. We appreciate that. Also, make sure to follow us on here, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification button, so when we post videos or updates, you guys will know. And we look forward to the next video. And again, thanks for watching. See you guys later.